and welcome to the May 2010 edition of What to See in the Night Sky Astronomy Podcast with me, Dwayne Alexander. In this episode, the planets and where to see them in the night sky, interesting sky groupings, phases for the Moon, and more. We start now with the planets. Saturn is still visible close to the border of Virgo. To find Saturn, look for a bright star kind of low on the horizon in the constellation of Virgo. This star is called Spica. Then look for the bright star Regulus in Leo. Now if you draw an imaginary line between the two, you'll find almost halfway between them is a star, and it's quite bright. That star is in fact Saturn. Though Saturn is bright enough, you may not need to do that technique to find the ring planet. Through a telescope, Saturn's rings will appear obvious, appearing thin, but if you're viewing through a large telescope, some of the detail in the ring system, and indeed the planet, will be visible. Don't forget to keep an eye out for those moons bouncing around Saturn as well. If you're viewing this area of sky, don't forget to take a look at the massive galaxies between Leo and Virgo. The planet Saturn lies just below this area of sky, and the faint constellation of Coma Berenices lies just above, with Leo just to the right and Virgo lying just below and to the left of this area of sky. The next planet in our podcast today is Mars. The red planet is moving eastwards through the Cancer-Leo border in the night sky. However, seeing the planet detail through a telescope is becoming more difficult as the planet decreases in size as we move further from the planet in space. Moving on to Venus now. The planet has been making a bright and stunning evening object last month, and will continue to do so during May in the western evening skies after sunset. An interesting photography event will occur on May 16th, but even without a camera, it will be just as stunning to view with your own eyes. Venus will lie close to, just below, and to the right of 3-day-old thin crescent moon, near the horizon on May 16th. The Moon and Venus will lie between the constellations of Gemini the Twins and Auriga the Charioteer in the evening twilight. A similar event happened last month. Combined with the volcanic dust in the atmosphere from the volcano eruption in Iceland, which was going across the UK, this led to a stunning sight. If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube as a podcast, then you may be able to see some images of this event. Even if you don't have a camera for this event, but you have a mobile phone with a camera, why not try experimenting with the phone's camera? Although in most cases, phone camera images are not as good quality as the ones taken with a proper camera, sometimes the images they do take can still be of interest. During this event, if you view the planet Venus through a telescope, it will reveal the planet to be in a gibbous phase showing at magnitude -3.9. Mercury will be a morning object this month, just before sunrise. However, it will be low on the horizon, and with light in the skies, it may be difficult to view. Jupiter will also be visible in the south, shining at magnitude -2.2 during the middle of May. It also passes near Uranus near the end of the month. Though to see Uranus, you will need a telescope due to the planet being so distant and not as bright. We still have Comet 81P wild in our skies, however it's shining at magnitude +9 near Virgo. That will mean this is purely a telescopic object. It will also lie close to several galaxies in this area of sky, making it difficult to track down. Now it's time to move on to the phases for the Moon this month. Last half is on the 6th of May at 5:15 AM, it rises at 2:24 AM and sets at 12:20 PM. New Moon is on the 14th of May at 2:04 AM. It rises at 4:50 AM and sets at 9:56 PM. First half is on the 21st of May at 12:43. It rises at 1:09 PM and will set at 1:49 AM. Full Moon is on the 28th of May at 12:07 AM. It rises at 10:12 PM and will set at 4:40 AM. Well, that ends this astronomy podcast. This podcast is also available on YouTube as a podcast. Details via the website, where you can also find star charts. The website is www.djmysterious.5u.com/astronomy.html. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to tune in next time. Until then, clear skies and happy viewing.